Good afternoon. Good evening. How are you? How are you feeling? How are you feeling this lovely afternoon? We have news. Are you feeling this lovely afternoon? Let me know in the comment section because we got news. Okay? We're here because we have news. Let me know in the comment section. How are you? How are you feeling? Where are you watching as from? Okay? We want to know. We want to know all that. So where are you? How you feeling? Where are you? How you doing? Any question, please put it in the comment section. So we are here to report the news, okay? And we want to answer some questions as well. So if you have a question, just please put it in the comment section as I pull up the news. Anybody, any question, please put it in the comment section. Yeah, by the way, the Trump says the U.S. military again targeted a boat allegedly carrying drugs from Venezuela. And we have 3 people dead in that strike. Yeah, the strike occurred while this confirmed narco terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters transporting illegal drugs. Trump said that in 2 social posts announcing the strike. This extremely violent drug trafficking cartel poses a threat to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and vital U.S. interest. Basically, 3 people with 11. Okay. Trump said the strike was carried out on Monday, 2 weeks after another military. That one, like 3 people died. This one, 2 weeks after another military strike on what the Trump administration says was a drug carrying speed boat from Venezuela. That strike killed at least 11 people. Okay, so but anyway, you know, they say they're gonna put the military at the border. If they see anything, they will strike, basically. So this is what happened. But anyway, that's not really the news we wanted to. It's among the news, right? Because it's happening at the border. But the real one that we want to discuss today, it's about USCIS and its new. It's about USCIS and its new policies, like the way they're handling cases now. That's what we want to discuss. And the visa bulletin, you just know that the visa bulletin is out and there's a lot of movement in the employment-based category. That's good news. Okay. I'm going to talk about it, but let's talk about okay. Let's talk about that first. Okay. Let me pull it. Okay, anybody there? Okay. So what is really going on? This is what's going on, okay? When a person is on VAWA pending, green card pending, and you get your work permit, and now you're trying to travel outside of the United States, be careful, be careful. Okay. As a matter of fact, just don't, unless it's a matter of death. Just don't, because what's happening is that when a person is coming back, the person is being placed in secondary questioning. Okay. Because they want to find out about the VAWA application in question. They're going through phones, they're going through a lot of things so that they can find out whether or not fraud occur. And if they find out that fraud occurred, then they charge you under a federal crime. Basically, that's what they said. Okay. Let me see if I can actually pull that USCIS, so I can show you what I mean. By the way, please like, please share, because we're trying to discuss important news here. And you need to be sharing, by the way, you need to be sharing so that we can, we're doing what's right. You know what I mean? Everything that is right, that's what we're doing. Okay, so let me see what it says actually. Let me see what it says. Give me one moment, because I want to really talk to you about the exact words. Okay. So now what they're going to do, CBP, Custom Border Patrol, okay? What they're going to do, they are going to place every VAWA petitioner in secondary inspection, secondary questioning. If you're coming from, you travel on advanced parole and you're coming and you happen to have a VAWA application pending, you're gonna be placed in secondary questioning. Why? Because they want to know whether or not, okay, when they place you there, they're gonna review the case, interrogate you, because it's secondary questioning. The secondary inspection, basically questioning the second time, interrogating you about fraud, searching to the phone, in order to justify their allegation of fraud. So what happens is when they do that, they see that you're talking to some other, let's say you filed VAWA based on a previous marriage, and now you're already talking to somebody else. In other words, it's not really a big deal, but now they're gonna take those evidence as if it's actually fraud in terms of their investigation. So basically, all those evidence is going to be weighting against the person who applied for VAWA. In other words, I will suggest for anybody who's trying to travel outside of the country when the VAWA is pending to just hold on it, unless it's a matter of death. Okay, that somebody's going to die, you really have to go. If it's just for a regular vacation, just wait for the VAWA to be approved. Yeah, otherwise it's just getting weird, because they're going to make it a routine. Okay, they're going to question anybody that is traveling abroad, coming back on parole with a VAWA case pending. Secondary inspection, you get questioned for the second time, verify all your phone, seize your phone and search the phone and your person, basically. Not to mention investigate on your VAWA petition, and if they see anything that can lead to the charge of fraud, they will use it to charge you for fraud, federal crime. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay, watching from Wisconsin, what do you advise me? I want to move my case from Newark Immigration Court, Chicago Court. You live in Wisconsin, and you want to move your case from Newark Um, so what is the question? The question is, should I move? Should I not move? That's up to you. If you don't want to be traveling to Chicago for the hearing, unless if the hearing is in online, you can just leave it where it is. But if usually people will change venue because of cost. Most of the time because they don't want to pay the ticket to travel all the way there, right? That's the main reason people actually move their cases. But if it's online, why should you move it? Because what comes with the change of venue is that if the if the court where you reside does not have enough cases, then your case will be called sooner than the actual date because over there they don't have enough case. And by the way, in order to change venue, you have to file a motion to change venue with the court, which nowadays everything is it's almost difficult to do. But anyway, that's the procedure. But the quick question is you have to ask yourself, why are you trying to move or change venue? Why are you trying to change from Chicago to Wisconsin? Is it online or is it in person court? Is it because you want to save on travel, or why do you want to change? If you have a reason as to why you want to change, then you can change it. But just know that if the where you are they don't have enough case, then they can call you sooner. So that's one bad thing. Another bad thing is they can push it far if they have too many cases. Now it's up to you to decide. Okay, because I don't know what to decide on you. On you, it's you that's living there, you that knows exactly what to do about your case. You're the one who's going to decide. Okay, so what else we have going on here? Yeah, that's the problem we have here with those applications. I used to tell people, advanced parole, don't just, just, yeah. Anyway, first of all, advanced parole is not a guarantee to re-enter, and not to mention when you're traveling because you having difficulty, it's really hard. It's really hard if they start investigating a lot on the case, because now that they're really investigating on those the investigation nowadays really going stronger. They're investigating on pretty much any case nowadays, and they're asking for requests for evidence for almost any case. I'm like surprised. But anyway, so if you okay, if you're traveling abroad, you have to know the specific reason as to why you're traveling. Okay. Okay. What else we have here? Hmm. Okay. Yeah, and not to mention, we still have a lot of things going on as far as deportation is concerned. Those are the news that we already have. Let me see if we have another breaking news. Yeah, in DC, what they're saying is that the Trump administration threatened to federalize DC police again if the department doesn't cooperate with immigration officials. So basically, they're trying to um, make the police become under federal authorities if they're not collaborating with immigration authorities. Um, In August, we know that the Trump administration federalized the DC police and deployed National Guard troops into the district for an emergency 30 days takeover. That's why we saw a lot of military here in the DC area. If you live in this area, you'll see that there were military everywhere. Trump said in two social posts early Monday that the move led to the city being one of the safest in the world. This is booming with restaurant, store, and other business. There's virtually no crime because they put the federal, like the military, in the street. There were no crime for that period of time. So now, was the takeover was for 30 days. I don't know if the 30 days is up, off, or done, so that they can go back to normal police. But that's what is happening. Yeah, if you have another question on anything that we're talking about here, please let me know. If you have any other questions, okay, any question involving immigration, just let me know. There's a person who called me last night in the middle of the night talking about they want to know whether or not there's something they can do about their case as far as dismissal is concerned. This is a person who applied for asylum. And back in the day, you remember with prosecutorial discretion, I used to tell people, like, if you don't have anything else, because usually people will dismiss their cases because they know that maybe in 2 years or 3 years, the child is going to become a US citizen, then the child is going to petition for them. That's why I actually dismissed at least a couple cases where they had options within 2 or 3 years. But some people didn't have options, but they took the dismissal, and now they're wondering what are they going to do with their when their work permit expires, because remember that 5 years of work permit is coming to an end. So and the person was asking me, what am I going to do? How am I going to renew? But I don't have a license. What am I going to do? How am I going to work? The problem is, if you don't have a work permit, I mean, work options are really limited, right? And the thing is, if you don't have a case pending, there's no way to get a work permit. How are you going to get a work permit? Based on what? Because there has to be some type of underlying ground for a work permit. That's what I was trying to explain. Yeah, that's why if a person wants to take dismissal, they have to understand the consequences of that dismissal. That's why I personally had cases administratively closed where the person has no option, and I had cases dismissed when I saw the option coming. So, and especially because the administrative closure was denied anyway. So we had to take the dismissal in those particular cases because we had options available to us. Yeah, but some other people, what are you going to do now? If you want to reapply for asylum, it's not that simple as you think nowadays. Yeah, so we're just here to Yeah, but if there's no immigration court in Wisconsin, then you don't have a question. Then you have no, then you stay in Chicago. Your case stays in Chicago because they don't have an immigration court that cover Wisconsin. There's nothing you can do. That's not your fault. You're just gonna go to court in Chicago where the case is. Or you want to move your case from Newark Immigration Court to Chicago because Chicago covers Wisconsin. Yeah, if I were you, I would leave the case alone. Yeah, because even if you are in Chicago is Chicago far away from? Is Chicago close to Wisconsin? Is your case, first of all, is your case online or in person? Is your hearing in person or online? That's the first question, right? Because if it's online, why would you bother? You just leave it the way it is. Yeah. Yeah, I don't. If I were you, I'm just going to leave my case the way it is because you don't want to be messing around. And to be honest, it might even be denied because now they're denying pretty much everything. And is Chicago closer to is Chicago closer to Wisconsin? Oh, it's 45 minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can. Then you need to file a motion to change venue. You don't just move it like in words. It has to be in writing. You have to file a motion to change venue because you live there now and it's 45-minute driving. Yeah, you can file a motion and see if they're gonna change it. But the problem with changing, as I said, if in Chicago, for example, they don't have enough cases, then they put your case sooner. Then the date might change. That's the only downside to it. The date might change. It might advance or it might go back. So it's just up to how many applications they have in Chicago. You know what I mean? That's nobody knows. So, but as far as filing a motion, if you have a valid reason, you just file and see what they're gonna say. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So Alias Sila is the only person who's asking question. You guys don't have additional question? You don't have additional questions? I mean, if you don't have questions, I'm just gonna. Okay, so this is it for today, right? So if you miss anything, just go back and rewind. But meanwhile, please like, please share. If we have additional news, we will come back. But if we don't have additional news, we're not coming back. If something's going on, I might post it on my IG story, or on my TikTok story. If it's really major, we're gonna come back to take questions. Okay. Until next time, bye bye.